I produced what looks like a credible $5 billion federal AI research funding request in a weekend
on AI.
with one developer
Both repository
and
links
an
are in the
API
description.
key.
Apply the audit
Total
recipe
compute
to
bill
whatever you
came
read
in
next.
around $300. The shape of the ask was reasonable. It mapped to existing federal vehicles. The numbers themselves were model generated. This video is about what just happened to the economics of producing authoritative-looking policy documents. Quick disclosure first. Every dollar figure you'll hear in this video is model-generated output of a fictional simulation. Don't cite them. Don't repeat them as validated cost estimates. The shape of the ask is the actual story. The numbers are illustrations of that shape. Treat them accordingly. Here's the shape. 5 programs. Public interest research substrate, foundational science, verification and governance infrastructure, communities and audit, workforce, and international. 15 numbered recommendations underneath those 5 programs. Each recommendation has an owner agency named, a funding range with a low and high estimate, and a 5-year assessment milestone. The whole thing operates on 3 implementation horizons: 3-year, 10-year, 25-year. That's the structure of a credible federal funding ask, and credible federal funding asks have looked roughly like this for decades. Why does it read credible? Because every recommendation maps to a federal vehicle that already exists. Program A points at the National AI Research Resource, already authorized, currently underfunded, exactly the kind of thing Congress would top up. Program C points at the AI Safety Institute, currently operating under NIST. Program D points at the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the Census Bureau, the Office of Management and Budget, 3 federal statistical agencies that already collect and release data. Program E points at NSF, NIST, and the State Department. Anyone who reads federal R&D funding for a living would recognize the shape. That recognition is what makes the document feel real, even when the specific numbers inside it aren't validated against anything. But here's where the document falls apart, and where any serious budget analyst would catch it. The numbers carry no sensitivity ranges, no low estimate, central estimate, high estimate spread, no displacement analysis. What existing federal program loses funding to make room for this one? No comparators against historical federal precedent. CHIPS Act actuals, Brain Initiative budgets, NAIRR pilot disbursements. Every funding figure sits in a plausible seeming range with none of the discipline that would make it a validated estimate. The shape is right. The numbers are vibes in a tuxedo. Here's what producing a comparable document used to cost. A traditional National Academies consensus committee runs roughly $3 to $5 million in contract value. 18 months from charge to publication. 20 or more named experts on the roster, plus background paper authors, plus external review monitors, plus dedicated staff support. That's the cost of running the institutional process that produces the genre. The cost is the discipline. The discipline is what the genre is supposed to signal. Here's what the simulated version cost. About $300 in API compute. A weekend of one developer's time, me in this case. No external review monitors, no human background paper authors, no staff. The genre is intact. The process underneath the genre, the part that the cost was actually paying for, is gone. Run the math. About 10,000 times cheaper, about 100 times faster. 4 orders of magnitude on dollars, 2 orders of magnitude on time. That's the structural change. Whatever the institution of record was protecting by being expensive and slow, whatever filtering function the cost performed, that protection is gone. The expensive thing and the cheap thing now read the same on the page. There are 3 implications I keep coming back to. First, more low-quality lobbying. Anyone with a position on a federal AI question can now produce a credible shaped white paper in a weekend. The discourse fills with plausible sounding asks faster than any agency can read them. Second, and this one I think is actually net positive, more genuine prep work. Researchers and small institutions that couldn't afford to commission a NASEM report can stage one as scaffolding for their actual proposals. They learn the genre. They learn what their argument has to look like to be taken seriously. That's good. Third, more adversarial generation. Bad actors can manufacture credible-shaped documents to muddy the waters or astroturf positions. Same technology that does the second one does the third. There isn't a clean separation. Quick reminder, the funding figures are simulation output. The cost of authority collapse is real and measurable. What do you do about a structural change of this magnitude? You can't undo it. The fix isn't to slow generation. That just hands the genre to providers who don't slow down. The fix is to publish the audit recipe alongside any artifact you produce, and to demand it from any artifact you receive. There are 6 structural checks worth running. Persona drift, sponsor capture acknowledgement, dissent depth, cost sensitivity and displacement, falsifiability triggers per finding, funding translation discipline. Apply the matrix to anything that reads like a consensus document. Genre fidelity is now table stakes. Structural plausibility is the new bar. 2 repositories worth your time. The simulation, both committees and all artifacts, is at github.com/swmeyer1979/Averis-RND. The open source protocol specification is at github.com/swmeyer1979/pact-spec, Apache 2 licensed. Clone either, fork either, find the next failure mode I missed. Final disclosure, entirely fictional simulation. The funding figures are model generated. The cost of authority collapse. That's the actual finding, and it's real. If the cost of authority collapse is the kind of structural shift you want more on, subscribe to SAM on AI. Both repository links are in the description. Apply the audit recipe to whatever you read next.